meeting for November 14th, 2023 is hereby called to order. Will Secretary Houston please call roll?
Commissioner Garentz?
Here.
Commissioner Taylor? Here. Commissioner Smith?
Present.
President Hayden?
Present.
Commissioner Contreras is absent. Director Cotton?
Here.
All right, the first item on the agenda is the approval of the October 31, 2023 board minutes. Does anyone have comments or changes to this item?
So moved to approve.
Get a second?
Second.
All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? This item is passed. The second item on the agenda is resolution number 32360, considering board approval of the 2024 golf rates for the 5 municipal golf courses. Director of Golf Operations, Doug Schroeder
Schroeder.
is the sponsor of this matter.
You know what? It's that I go by both. My parents say Schrader, but when I got to college, I got so tired of telling people. So I just whatever. If it's close, I just go.
Okay. It wasn't meant to be a quiz. So, nice to meet you. Please,
Nice to meet
please
you.
go ahead.
Yeah, what you have in front of you is a memo for the proposed 2024 golf rates. We evaluate golf rates annually, and we make small incremental changes when necessary to keep up with costs, which are always, increasing due to, just inflation. We've been pretty timid with our increases this year, because last year we did a healthy increase. So there's not much going on here. The only things I think that are large are the 9-hole rates at Shoal and Swope. They were below. You could play 2 9-hole rounds and not be a 18-hole round, so we had to do a little correction there.
Right.
We had failed to increase those in years past, and when the 18-hole went right up, but the 9-hole stayed the same. So we did a correction. Guys were coming in and playing 9 holes, then paying for another one, so they'd save a couple dollars.
Yeah.
But we figured that out and saved that. Most of the annual passes remain the same. We did a little change on our KC under 30 pass. We defined it as 6 months, and instead of 5, and it increased a little bit. That's a program we have for everybody at 30 and under. They get a pass that's a little discounted. People coming out of college, coming out of high school, they get a little help. It doesn't cost as much to play golf. Kind of incentivizes them to become patrons, and hopefully get some brand loyalty for the department.
Doug, I appreciate that these rate increases are super nominal, and I think still keep the community in mind, so thank you for that. And I also want to acknowledge that the junior rates and things like that were not increased, so.
Yeah, and I have a note on that. Actually, we're including Shoal in that now.
Oh, good.
So they're going to be able to play all of our courses, the highest cost to the lowest cost for the same rate.
Cool.
Which is something really nice. I wanted to make a point of that.
Yep, thank you.
And other courses in the town have increased their rates more than we have, so we're staying below the curve.
Yeah, I wanted to thank you for this one on the back. That was really helpful to just make sure that we're staying in line with the other options in the community.
Okay,
Very good.
so thank you.
All right, any other questions?
No.
All right, hearing none,
Move to approve.
thank you. I have a second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, this item is passed, and I
Thank
will
you.
turn it back to Mr. Schrader again
Schrader, there you go.
for resolution number 32361 for the lease of certain pieces of equipment for the South Golf Courses and the debt servicing related
Yes,
thereto.
this is to debt service, a new set of equipment frontline equipment for our South Golf Courses. We just did a debt service a couple years ago for the North Courses, so this is just keeping the equipment improved. Frontline equipment is the green mowers, the fairway mowers, rough mowers, and what we do is when a piece of equipment ages, we'll turn the greens mowers into tee-box mowers. So we always keep it moving down the line, and finally we'll trade it off when it's past its life expectancy.
Well, this is how we're the best, so thank you.
My one question was, so I see you've got that the debt service will be $250,000 over 4 years, or annually for 4 years. And then you say the equipment budget is $300,000.
Right.
So is there something else, like, does the $50,000 delta cover everything else, or?
It's there just in case something goes wrong. and
Oh,
we need
okay,
to
so
buy
there's
something.
nothing else in it right now?
Right,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, there is no other debt service. Yeah, that was retired a year ago.
Thank you. All right, with that, Any other questions? Then I'll take a motion to approve.
Move to approve. Trying to share the
Yeah.
moving.
Can I get a second?
Second?
All in favor? Aye.
Aye,
Any opposed? All right, that is passed.
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you. All right, next item on the agenda is resolution number 32362, considering board approval of the bid award to Mega KC for the Ashland Square Spray Ground project in the amount of $1,108,097. No, I'm gonna let Deputy Director Allen give the number.
That's
Okay.
right. We've had we've had a long 2-hour meeting.
So we're requesting approval to award a contract with Mega for $1,108,097. And then we are asking to fund it with the remaining PIAC balance, and then the rest of the funds would come from the park sales tax reserve. And then we've worked with the neighborhood to develop a plan, and we have consensus, and this would be replacing the pool with a spray ground. Be glad to answer any questions.
Can you tell more about the pool that it will replace? Was it just a wade pool, or was
It
this?
was a fill and draw pool, and then we've replaced a lot of the fill and draw pools over time. We've replaced them at Lycan Square, Blue Valley, Loose Park, and so there's only a few left. Arbor Villa, Bud are probably the last remaining ones, and I think the aquatics plan, calls for replacing those as well, so.
But replacing them with actual,
The one at Jarville would be a pool, and then Arbor Villa is still out, whether the community would accept a spray ground or, if it'll be a small pool.
yeah, and thank you for answering those questions, because I've continued to share my belief that it is really full-service pools that actually help advance our community and our young people in having access to water, that sometimes spray grounds can really disrupt the action that we want, which are students learning how to swim. But definitely understand. Can you talk about the area that this replacement will be in and the proximity of a full-service pool?
On that one is the Grove and Bud Park are probably going to be the closest full-service pools, and so this is at 23rd and Jackson. The Grove is at Truman and Benton Boulevard, so, yeah.
You say Bud Park would get maybe a new pool?
No, Bud has a pool, and so
Yeah, is
that-
it- is it the
this
same one?
area is kind of in that service area,
Is it the same one they've had, just
yes,
updated?
yes.
But it's not a fill and drain, it is a filtration pool, so
Filtration,
that's
yeah.
why, yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, so.
We definitely want to get these fill and drain pools out. They are not
correct.
Right.
sanitary.
Right.
Okay, I'll pause. Other questions?
Tell you, Rachel Riley, the neighborhood representative, is very excited about getting this.
Okay, thank you for
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah, that's really helpful.
Couple times.
Is excited about the spray ground.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I do, hearing that, and I think perhaps as we couple this upon approval, if this commission approves, that we also connect the dots with the full-service pools. It is imperative, especially within the community that this sits in, that we are not just taking out pools and putting in spray grounds. Our children need places to learn and get immersed in water.
I do know that there's a Boys and Girls Club less than half a mile, I think, from Ashland Square Park, Wagner, that also has I think they just got their pool updated as well.
And so that might be a good partnership, because I know you have to be a member
Yep,
there
yep.
versus just being able to be
Oh,
a neighbor
yep.
with us.
Yep.
But, okay.
I hate to bring it up again, but Bud Park, I have the owner of the Northeast News calling me, and they're concerned about quite a few things with the Parks Department over there. What do you mean we're gonna do to Bud Park as far as the pool? What exactly?
I mean, on the aquatics master plan, it did an assessment of all the pools, and there was a list of improvement items for Bud Park, and our plan is to, fund those improvements.
Okay, so there's gonna be some improvements to Bud Park?
Yes,
Pool,
yes.
okay.
But it's
But
not.
that's not,
But-
that's
but-
not
but
here
not-
for this.
but
not
That's
through
not
this.
this,
It's
yeah.
not
Action
this,
item.
no.
It'll be another item.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
You mentioned Rachel, Carmen. What other type of community engagement did we do with this, with the decision to make this a spray park instead of fixing or updating
Is,
the current?
Is what we did is we worked with the neighborhood through Miss Riley, and then when we finally were, entered into an agreement that we could, go with the spray ground, we went out to like Grandview. They were really happy with the one at Metamural, out in Grandview, so we went out and looked at that. And so we had community meetings, and then as the design progressed, we would bring those designs to the community, and they were good with the final design that we bid out.
So I'm hearing spray ground, pools within a 3-mile radius?
On that is, we can give you the exact,
Okay.
distance to those pools.
All right.
All right, any other questions or comments? Okay, with that, I will ask for a motion to approve resolution number 32362.
That's a
All right,
lot of money.
so we don't have a motion to approve this? Can I put it forward, Lana? No. Okay.
Madam President, I would like to see the approval for the pool, Ashland Square spray ground and the money as stated in that statement.
Thank you.
Approved.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
I second. I don't object, I was just being quiet to let the other commissioners do it.
Thank you. All right, second by Commissioner Smith. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay, item passed. Next item on the agenda is resolution number 32363, considering board approval of the bid award to National Streetscape for the Buckeye Greenway pedestrian bridge project in the amount of $414,029. Deputy Director Allen, turn it over to you again.
Yes, so Buckeye Greenway is located just south of Parvin Road, and then east of Shoto, and then north of 210. There is an elementary school over there, Shoto Elementary School. There is a neighborhood that's just east of the park, and the kids use this as a route to walk to school. There's an old bridge that is kind of in bad shape, and so this bridge would replace that bridge. And then we have had meetings with the neighborhood, and then we developed a master plan, and they were in support of this project.
And when would this start, in July? No, July 20, sorry. When would this start being repaired?
After you, if you award it, we'll encumber the funds, we'll issue a notice to proceed to the contractor. Most likely, the notice to proceed will be in December, early January, and then the work will be completed in 2024.
How many bids do we usually get on projects?
On the projects, it varies. It varies from 1 to 7, and so some projects we get a lot of bids and some we don't. So it varies.
All right, any other questions on this item? All right, with that, may I have a motion to approve resolution number 32363?
So
Motion
moved.
approved.
Okay, get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, this item is passed. Next item on the agenda is resolution number 32364, considering board approval of the bid award to Gunter Construction and Landworks Studio for the Holmes Park Playground Design Build Project in the amount of $404,750. Deputy Director Allen.
Yes, Holmes Park is right off of Holmes Road between 67th and 70th. There's an existing playground there. This project will replace that playground. We did this as a design build where teams team up with a designer and a contractor. There will be community engagement involved in this project. And so if you award this contract, the first step they will do is community engagement, design it, and then they'll build it. And going the design-build approach, it just speeds up the process of getting a project from design to construction completed.
Creates some excitement.
Yes.
Do you
It's a
know-
well-used park too.
Do you know if they're working with any nonprofit organizations that specifically focus on inclusivity in playgrounds, such as Variety KC?
We have a good relationship with Variety KC, and what we did is a couple of years ago, they gave us, we've worked with them on like 3 or 4 projects over the years, and then they kind of gave us the principles that they would like to have in a playground, like the fencing, all-inclusive playground equipment, restrooms, and so we do have a good working relationship with them.
And that'll be incorporated into this and all the plans?
Yes.
Also curious, I noticed that the MEB and WBE went from 15 to 14%. Just curious. So on the previous that we just approved,
Yeah.
is
And then
15.
on the way the projects work is when we get a new project, we submit MBE and WBE request for percentages to CREO, and then they evaluate the project with the subs and the participants that the general contractor would have, and then to see if they would be able to get those goals on these different types of work. So it changes, from project to project. Sometimes with the
Based upon the
playground-
scope? Is it based upon the scope of
the scope of the work. And then
Okay.
on the playgrounds, a lot of the price of the bid is for playground equipment, and there's only so many equipment providers, and then so you're getting your percentages for your goals in the site work, the concrete, and so there's fewer items that you can attain, those goals.
Okay. Thank you for that. I didn't realize that there was a formula to it that could then dictate those numbers. Thank you.
On the all-inclusive equipment, is that something that, how was it determined that Holmes Park should be the one to have that as opposed to a different park or something like
I
that?
think we have a goal that all new playgrounds moving forward, we're going
Yeah.
to make
Oh,
it
great.
all-inclusive, yes.
Great.
Love it.
All right. Any other questions? With that, may I have a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, this passed. Next item is resolution number 32365, considering board approval of the design professional agreement with Confluence for the North Terrace Lake Improvements Project in Kessler Park. Deputy Director Allen.
On this one, I'll just tell a quick, there's a young man in the neighborhood that wanted to fish at this lake, and he's like, how do I, make the lake, safer to fish at? And so he created some community interest in making improvements to the lake, and he and his family requested PIAC funding. We started a lot of dialogue with the neighborhood and community, and then we were able to obtain a grant for this portion of this design piece. And so that's what this would do, is it would provide the design to make improvements around the lake, and then we can go after another grant for the construction piece of it. So,
Is this off Chestnut?
yeah, right off Chestnut and then just north of Lexington.
Yeah. Used to call it Green Lake.
Okay.
Any other questions about this item? All right, with that, may I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
May I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item is passed. Next item on the agenda is resolution number 32366, considering board approval of change order number 1 to the contract with Primetime Contracting Corporation under the Small Local Business Enterprise Program for the Columbus Square Playground in the amount of $27,533.49. Deputy Director Allen.
On this one, the change order is adding 2 new swing bays in addition to some other swings that were added to the area. The playground that's there now was put in 2014, and I think the neighbors would, like some additional playground improvements as well down the road, so.
My only question is 18 weeks, it'll extend the construction by 18 weeks?
It is sometimes on some of these, there's like a lead time to order.
Oh,
you
to
know, like
order,
the
okay.
swings and the tires, but the initial construction of installing it is pretty short window.
And because, I feel like we've had this theme of communication today, I will assume that the extended construction schedule will be communicated to community members so that we can remanage those expectations.
We will convey that to them, and then we have been working with them, and they were the ones that requested
Right.
this ad. Yeah.
Great, just want to make sure we have that loop of
Okay.
communication.
My question is are 2 tire swings really $27,000, or is there other, I would have no idea what a tire swing costs.
Plus
I've seen-
labor.
Yeah, I don't want to get too deep
Yeah.
in it, but, on the tire swings, there's a fall zone that is required around the tire swings, and so you do a border, and then you do the safety surface to fill that whole fall zone area, and then it's the actual, price of the equipment. So all those different steps adds up,
Okay.
and then we're required to pay prevailing wages on our projects.
So my daddy did it wrong. He just threw up a,
Yeah.
all right.
All right, any other questions? With that, may I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Items passed. Next item is resolution number 32367, considering board approval of the ground lease agreement with Children's Mercy Hospital for a gravel lot east of Hospital Hill Park for parking. Deputy Director Allen.
On this one we had an agreement with them in 2007 that allowed them to use this gravel lot as a lay-down yard for the construction and expansion of their hospital. From that 2007 agreement, they did $1 million with improvement to Hospital Hill Park. They provided maintenance for the park as well. And then they were to build a amphitheater, not an amphitheater, but a auditorium. And so all of those items have been completed. And so we want to do a new agreement for the use of that gravel lot. And then we did obtain a market rental appraisal on what that would be. And that's what that $87,000 number is we did appraise it. And so this would be a 5-year term that's renewable up to 20 years.
And continue their maintenance of the park.
Yeah.
Yep.
Their insurance, their everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think Deputy Director Allen, that Director Cotton told me that also, that the parking would still be available for the public
Yes.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they will convert it from a gravel lot. They plan to make it
Make it
a real parking lot down the road.
I think this is a really great example of partnerships that we want to continue to cultivate and see. It's a really great leveraging of funds and coming together. So I really appreciate and
It's
want
a
to thank our
no-brainer.
partners at Children's Mercy Hospital.
Great.
Move to approve.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item passed. Next item is resolution number 32368 for board approval of the bid award to Bronze Arts for the Richard and Annette Block Cancer Survivors Park to restore certain of the structures and sculptures. Deputy Director Allen.
This is a park that has been there since 1990, and so we have a trust fund set up for the care of this building, of the structures, and so that's what this will be done, so. And this is a specialized contractor that does work on some of these other block monuments, and so he has specialty in fiberglass and then the bronze, refinishing.
So the Brock Foundation will cover that then.
Yes.
Good.
Any other questions? May I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passed. Thank you, Director Allen.
All right. You won't see me up there.
James is coming back. Got it.
Next item is resolution number 32369 for board approval of the facility use agreement without concessions for Hogan Preparatory Academy for the use of the Brush Creek and Southeast Community Centers for girls and boys basketball practices. Superintendent Jennifer Jett.
Thank you. So we've been leasing gym space to Hogan Prep for their boys basketball practice for a couple years. They've just added girls basketball practice at Brush Creek Community Center. And the agreement will run from November 15th until February 9th, 2024. And we anticipate that we will be collecting $4,437.50.
Any questions about this item? All right, hearing none, may I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Items passed. Next one for Superintendent Jett is resolution number 32370, considering board approval of the cooperative agreement with Freedom Fire Ministries for use of the Garrison Community Center. Go ahead.
Thank you. So we have been partnered with Freedom Fire Ministries at Garrison for a couple years now, cooperative agreement here for their Friday fun night from 6 to 8 at the community center. It is open to all neighborhood youth free of charge, and then our staff assist them with their programming. We have waived the $100 rental fee for their 2-hour event, not to exceed $4,000, and the agreement will run until the end of December 2024.
So is this something they're doing?
Yeah.
How frequent is this?
It is typically weekly. In the summertime, they do move their activities outside, so that is why they may not need every single week at the community center, but as it's gotten colder, they've needed to move indoors.
Thank you.
Got it. Thank you. Had to say.
Did some math, 40
Yeah,
weeks.
thank
I was
you.
like, yeah, I was like, how's 100 come 4,000? Okay, any other questions? May I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the item's passed. Next item is resolution number 32371, considering board approval of facility use without concession agreement for Come to Jesus Worship and Praise Church for the use of Greg Kleiss Community Center for the purpose of conducting church services. Superintendent Jett.
Thank you. So Come to Jesus Worship and Praise Church is renting the facility for their services on Sundays for a total of $2,250, and this agreement ends at the end of the fiscal year.
Thank you. Any questions?
Move to approve.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, the motion is passed. Last item is resolution number 32372, considering board approval of amendment number 1 with the Ross Group with respect to the organizational assessment, strategic plan, and business plan for the Bruce R. Watkins Cultural Heritage Center Museum. Superintendent Jett.
Thank you. So amendment number 1, we're requesting to add $5,161.33 for some additional travel costs that were incurred due to some just timing and travel delays that they experienced. That would bring the contract to $105,161.33 and extend the expiration until the end of February 2024 so we can wrap everything up as needed with the strategic plan.
Thank you.
Some real deal travel expenses. Does this include travel changes that have already happened, and then one that we know since we've had this shift, I think they're coming back here to Kansas City. So is this what is to come, but also what has happened that was unanticipated?
So it was previous travel, it does not include future travel.
So we might be faced with another amendment.
Yes.
Is this one travel time, or was this?
It was the one event that they needed to come back, and they needed to book it last minute, and it caused some delays, and, yeah, that was one.
And I would suggest that you make a motion to amend the amount at
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah.
Just not to exceed maybe 120,000. You guys will be reimbursed, what Parks has told me, by the state. So I think everything's reimbursable.
That's great. That's a really good
Thank
point.
you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this funding does come from the state.
The state.
Yes.
Okay.
But I would just make a motion.
So I would like, yeah, I would,
Would you think 120 should be sufficient, correct?
Absolutely, yes.
I mean, my goodness, okay, that's another,
And it was the travel of the three folks, plus
$15,000.
their hotel stays, and, so that did add
I
up.
think we
Yep.
canceled a meeting they were planning on
Yes.
coming to. Is that what happened?
okay. I'd move to amend, this resolution, to accommodate, upcoming travel not to exceed 120,000.
Not just
May I have a
travel, but
Second.
contract.
Second.
Contract,
Yeah.
the contract, the total contract not to exceed 120. Thank you.
Second.
Not travel.
Yeah.
So
Where are
basically
they
what you do is
staying?
you vote on the amendment, and then you'll vote on and then you'll vote on the
Yes.
resolution.
Okay,
So
thank
Commissioner
you.
Taylor just seconded the amendment.
Okay, thank you.
And everyone in favor of the amendment?
Thanks, thank you, Lana.
Getting a lot of
All right, all in favor of approval of the amendment?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so then, we have a motion to approve the resolution
As amended, yep.
as amended.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. All right, you're passed. Thank you, Superintendent Jett.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to turn it over to Director Cotton for his update.
Yes, thank you. There's been a high concentration of spray paint vandalism at Penguin Park, and staff has been working to keep removing the graffiti. Graffiti has also been removed at Penn Valley Park, Islas Davis Park, along Brush Creek, Gillum Park, along the Paseo, and the Troost Bridge. 4,800 pounds of seed were dispersed at 15 parks in the Northland, along with 1,750 pounds of fertilizer. We had a houseless camp cleanup at Mill Creek Bridge. All fountains have been winterized with the exception of the Northland Fountain, which runs year-round. Lakeside Nature Center has gone live with Civic Rec, which will be able to track finances and facility reservations. This is the same software that the Community Service Division uses. Conservation has received a grant award sponsored by the Inflation Reduction Act for $12 million for tree planting in the LifeX zone. This will be utilized over the next 5 years for tree work, including removals, trimming, and planting. Water's Edge Design has been selected as the firm to develop the plans for the new Southeast Community Center Pool, Tony Aguirre Community Center Pool, and for future improvements at Arbor Villa. Staff is working on replacing the swim team equipment at the Springs as directed by City Council. Staff met with Kaboom Playgrounds equity staff to look into a joint partnership that would help to replace playgrounds specifically in the Kula District. At this time, only preliminary discussion has taken place, but this would be a 50-25-25 match. And staff met virtually with representatives of the Soccer 5 organization, discussed renovating the Northeast athletic fields. That is my report.
Thank you. Any questions for Director Cotton? All right. Secretary Houston, do we have anyone for public?
No one's here.
Okay, thank you. Well, this concludes our agenda. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Thank you. May I have a second? All right. Thank you very much. We're adjourned.